Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you for joining me for this stream. I'm excited to see the Hawks and the 76ers as we saw the Hawks jump out to an early lead in game one. So that was exciting to see Trae Young. He's really been fantastic this entire playoffs. Obviously, his first NBA playoffs. And so it has been exciting to see him out there and just the way that he's able to lead this team is just it's extremely exciting to watch. So really looking forward to that. But the 76ers, they did come charging back at the end of game one. And so this is going to hopefully continue where they left off at, and we will see a fantastic game. I just got that feeling. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this matchup. So thank you so much for joining me. Definitely be sure to utilize the chat. I'd love to get this communication going back and forth, get to know you guys a little better, and just have this conversation going, really. As for this game, I feel that the 76ers are going to come out a little stronger than they did in game one in terms of in the first quarter. So I'm really looking to see how Atlanta's going to rebound in terms of just being able to continue to have that momentum. We did see what happened when they started putting a lot of pressure on Trae Young. And so that's obviously going to be the game plan for game two for the 76ers. They're going to try to go ahead and find a way to put more pressure on Trae Young offensively and defensively. He's only but so big in terms of size, so they're certainly going to be looking to try to get some key matchups towards his way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to do in game two, now that they're really going to be gunning for him a lot more like how they sort of did in the second half of game one. So really looking forward to that. And as for the 76ers, Embiid, if he can go out there and continue to dominate, that's going to be huge for them. Ben Simmons. So this is really going to be a great matchup. I'm really excited about this one. So let's see who's going to get the chat started today. Yep, lots of NBA news today as well. I know that Larry Nance joined the finalists for the 2020-2021 NBA Cares Community Assist Award. So congrats to him. Russell Westbrook was the finalist for that award. Yeah, just watching a lot of these teams, it seems like for the most part, a good amount of these teams, they can really just go off from downtown. And so, yes, definitely, if you're going to have a chance to really compete and go deep in this year's playoffs, you got to have that range. And it's got to be more than just a couple guys. We all saw what the Brooklyn Nets were able to do yesterday against the Milwaukee Bucks. And so, certainly, it's going to take a team that can get hot at the right moment and play great defense. They're going to be able to contend with what the Brooklyn Nets seem to have, even with James Harden not lineup. Yep, Hawks and 76ers. I myself, I'm going to be rooting for the Atlanta Hawks to win this series. I want to see them go ahead and advance and get to the next round. It's really tough because honestly, if the 76ers wasn't playing the Atlanta Hawks, I'd be rooting for them as well. So I wish that this was to determine who gets to the actual championship game, but nevertheless, happy for both teams as they, really showed tremendous strengths this season and just being able to come together as a team and just really one, just overcome the obstacles that obviously the season presented, earlier in the year, battling through COVID and everything. But just seeing the growth of these young men, it has just been fantastic to watch. Truly inspirational. Let's see. Thank you again for joining the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel here for this stream. Really looking forward to this game. I've been looking forward since watching game one and seeing how the Hawks got off to such a fast start, and then the 76ers, they came storming back. And so just watching that game, you had to know that the 76ers, they're going to apply a lot of pressure to Trae Young moving forward. And so how he's able to deal with that is what's going to be the determining factor here. So a lot of people, a lot of the experts, they're expecting the 76ers to win this game. I'm hoping that the Hawks are able to win this and get a commanding 2-0 lead, just to have that, momentum moving forward. I really would love to see that happen. But, I mean, if the 76ers wasn't playing the Hawks right now, I'd probably be rooting for them compared to some of the other teams that are still remaining in the bracket, that is for sure. So rooting for the Hawks, as it would mean a lot to the city to see them advance to the next round. It's not every year you get to talk about Hawks basketball. So when you get the opportunity, you got to take it. Yep. But do feel free to comment in the chat section. Any questions you may have. Certainly looking forward to communicating with you guys. Yep, as we count down towards tip off, certainly looking forward to seeing how this matchup is going to go, as this is going to be a pivotal game. I feel like this is one that if Atlanta's going to win the series, they have to go ahead and win this game here. I know it's early in the series, but being up 2-0, that would definitely help the Hawks. But whereas if the 76ers were to win and it was 1-1, I feel like the 76ers would carry some momentum that they really created towards the end of game one. So here we go, getting ready for tip off. Joel Embiid coming off of a 39-point game performance, his playoff high thus far, all that while battling an injury. And so in the 76ers, they showed a lot of heart being able to fight back. So we know what type of series this is going to be moving forward. It's going to be important for Atlanta to come out early again this game, especially on the road at the 76ers. And the 76ers, they have gotten the first points of the game. They're up 2-0 as Trae Young brings the ball down. Trae Young is looking early and often. Atlanta's facilitating it. Okay, we've got a 2-2 game. 76ers with Joel Embiid. Okay, 76ers up 4-2. Missed the alley hoop there for Atlanta. Okay, so Philly's coming out to a much earlier lead than the game that they had in game one, it seems, coming out looking to try to set the tone early. Philly with the rebound. Ben Simmons has it. Okay, so Philly's trying to establish the momentum early here. Joel Embiid with the rebound. It's a 6-2 game. Philly's up. Joel Embiid has it at the top. He drives in just like that. Just like that. He can get that all game long. He's got the size and the skill to be able to do that, even while playing through an injury. So it's going to be up to the Hawks to go ahead and get Trae Young going early. Young tries it from downtown, no good. 76ers again on the fast break, 10-2. So Philly's looking like they're coming out and taking charge early in this game, kind of what Atlanta did last time. So they're going to call a timeout early. Just go ahead and try to slow this momentum down. We don't want Philly to get out to an early start. Atlanta just has to, stay focused. Obviously, Philadelphia is going to come out and try to put a lot of pressure on Trae Young early and try to mess him up and just make it hard for him. I mean, they showed in the second half of the first game, what happens when they're able to put pressure on Trae Young. I mean, they really pressed him extremely hard in the last couple of minutes of that game, and it resulted in a bulk load of turnovers. And so Philly may have lost that game, but they gained a solid game plan to go off of moving forward. And so right now we've got Harris leading all with 6 points thus far in the game, 3 for 4 shooting. So he's gotten off to a fast start. You've got Green with 2 and Embiid with 2 as well for the 76ers. Atlanta Hawks are trying to get Trae Young going here. Yeah, definitely a much better start if you're the 76ers than what you saw in game one for sure. And if you're Atlanta, you definitely don't want this momentum to carry on. Yeah, the 76ers are not going to let Trae Young have his way, it seems like, in this one. So unless Trae just gets hot from downtown, he's going to have to really work a lot harder in this game than he did in game one. There's no secret that pick and roll is a big part of Atlanta's offense, and so Young's ability to hit shots from anywhere on the court makes him a given threat. And so the 76ers are going to look to try to take that away from him if possible. And so that's going to be the storyline to keep an eye on moving forward. And again, thank you so much for joining the stream. It's only my second stream ever, so I appreciate it. Yesterday, what we saw with the Brooklyn Nets, I mean, it was brutal for a first stream. I will say that, to watch the Brooklyn Nets take apart the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, it was hard to watch Giannis go out there, miss a lot of free throws. Obviously, he's very limited as to what he can do offensively in a big game like that versus a team that they really specialize in shooting, playing as a team. I mean, they play selfless basketball. Everybody there was getting baskets. Just about everybody on the entire team that got to play pretty much put points on the board. And so whether it was Durant with the unit and then you had Kyrie, they really moved the ball around extremely well. So it was a fun game to stream yesterday until it wasn't. And definitely do feel free to comment in the chat section so that way, I can get to know you guys, have that conversation going. Yeah, Joel Embiid has the ability to really take over this game. Okay, Atlanta will rebound it, will inbound it. Trae Young has it. Okay, he kicks it out. They're just not falling right now. It's just not falling yet for Atlanta. I know that they're trying to go ahead and answer, but it's just not falling at the moment. Meanwhile, the 76ers, they're picking up where they left off at. They're looking to inbound the ball. Tried to pass it to Joel Embiid. It's going to be 76ers basketball there. '76ers inbound, going straight to the rim. Two more points. They are up 12-2. Atlanta's going to want to respond right now. They certainly do not want for this lead to get any bigger. Harris has gotten off to a fast start, 4 for 5, 8 points. Okay, so Atlanta gets a bucket here. It's now 12-4. 76ers have it at the top of the key. And now we have a foul on Capella. Yes, 76ers, they are just taking advantage of matchups right now, having their way. Joel Embiid has it at the top of the key. Got Simmons down low. Atlanta's got the rebound. Okay, they can use a bucket right now. Simmons is guarding Young. Okay, in the corner for three, no good. Rebound, Joel Embiid. Yeah, right now it's looking like the 76ers are taking care of work. Nicholas, thank you so much for joining the stream. I appreciate you. Who do I have winning this game? I would love to see the Atlanta Hawks win not just this game, but the series. It's looking like the 76ers right now, but I still got faith in the Hawks, that they can get it going at some point. So I'm going to say the Hawks here. Who you got winning? 76ers have it up top. The 76ers, they seem like they do a great job at identifying key matchups, and they're just bigger, honestly, when it comes to getting to the paint and having their way. Uh, Trey Young tried there. He tried. Yeah, the 76ers, they're coming out with that same aggressive manner that they had at the end of game one. It's going to be up to Atlanta to get a run here. All it takes for Atlanta is just to get on a run. My guy got Atlanta to win as well. Is that your favorite team, or is that just who you're rooting for this series? Ben Simmons has it. He's been pretty quiet so far. He hasn't had to do much, actually, because Young has been leading the way for the 76ers. Again for another bucket, 16-4. Yeah, Philly they are coming out on a mission. Trey Young with the shot, just a little short. And now the foul. Yeah, it's time for Atlanta to press the gas pedals for sure. You say just for this series? Okay, same here, same here. My Lakers, they got put out, so gonna root for the hometown team for me and root for the Hawks here. I'm really excited to see the Hawks, and I'm hoping that they do well. I would have rooted for the Knicks as well if they were able to advance. So really just like seeing teams that aren't at this point of the stage, I guess you can say, that don't regularly advance deep into the playoffs. It's fun to see them make it a little further this year. Who's your favorite team? Trey Young has it. Trey Young is trying to find up. He turns the ball over. They are making life extremely hard for him, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Oh, what a block! Oh, that's going to be out of bounds there. We've got an 18-4 game. Philadelphia up 18-4. You're a Knick fan, hey, but what Julius Randle did, the guy definitely is a star, and so the Knicks, the future will be bright. Certainly, continue to add pieces around the Knicks, and they should be something moving forward. So that's some positive. And so, Nico TV, thank you for joining the chat. And yes, it's looking like the 76ers thus far. I'm here rooting for the Atlanta Hawks. You said you don't want the Hawks to win. I feel you there. I'm definitely hoping that the Atlanta Hawks find a way to get back in this game and at least make it a game. If you don't win, do like what the 76ers did in game one. Find that momentum and find what works best for you. Because honestly, the 76ers, they realize they have some key matchups that they can take advantage of. And if they make life hard for Trey Young on both sides of the ball, that is their formula for success here. Especially as Joel Embiid, continues to get more and more healthy, that's going to even make life even more difficult for the Atlanta Hawks here. But I definitely want this to turn into a great series, though. The more games, the better. If the 76ers wasn't playing the Hawks right now, I'd be rooting for the 76ers to advance as well. Currently a 20-6 ball game. Joel Embiid is definitely making sure that he is heavily involved on the offense. And he's looking to attack when he gets the ball. And that's what it comes down to in playoff series. You honestly want your stars to be the stars. Let's see. Nico TV, you want the Nets to have a bigger challenge with the 76ers, but if the Hawks win, you feel that they have a little chance. I feel you there. I honestly feel you there. I want to see the Hawks win, but at the same time, if we're just looking at, the Brooklyn Nets here in terms of the best team to give them the best matchup, then yeah, I would lean towards the 76ers in that case as well. But even then, Brooklyn's just in a different league. No James Harden, no problem. They went out there and they embarrassed Giannis. It was just if I'm Giannis at the end of the season, I'm going to be making some demands for sure. Like I can't be going out like that. Not on live TV where everybody's watching. That was an extremely hard game to stream for my first stream to watch the Brooklyn Nets just have their way with the Milwaukee Bucks. But I feel you on that one. Carmichael Mosby, thank you so much for showing up again. I appreciate you. How's life going today? Hopefully today is going great. Yeah, so right now Atlanta's really just struggling to hit on some shots here. Trey Young, he's trying to get something going there. I mean, he's putting in the effort, he's moving. They're just really making sure that he's not the guy that beats them right now. And as for the 76ers, I mean, Harris has gotten off to a fast start. 6 for 7. We're still in the first. He's got 12 points already. Green's got 5. Joel Embiid, he is definitely having his presence felt. He's got 4 points, but his impact has been bigger than that. 2 for 4 in field goals, 4 rebounds thus far in the games, 2 assists. So definitely making his presence known. Ben Simmons has been quiet. So has Steph Curry. But right now, they have not needed to do much at the moment. They're out there. The team is definitely holding up theirs. It's up to Atlanta to start hitting some shots and start getting some momentum building back up at this point. That's what it comes down to, just having momentum. Carmichael, glad to hear that life is going great for you. Appreciate you. Nico TV, I wouldn't count on the Bucks yet, but I saw something I don't see a lot. The Bucks looked like they were the 10th seed versus the first seed in games two. You know what? I wouldn't even disrespect the 10th seed. The 10th seed would go out there and show some heart. What I saw was a team that just looked like they did not belong, honestly. And that's tough to say. I mean, we saw what they were able to do in the first round, but it was just tough to watch. I mean, honestly, the Brooklyn Nets are built completely opposite of what Milwaukee is. And so they just took it to them. They had that whole business mentality. Although they were up by 30, they were playing like they were the team that was down by 30, and they just did not lit up. And that's what you can do when you can have, even when James Harden comes back. I mean, you don't have to keep them all out there. Just have one star, and the rest of the unit is pretty solid already. And then just take out Durant, put in Kyrie. You get the same results. These guys are shooting video game percentage at this point. And it's just not fair because Giannis, he doesn't have it at all. He doesn't have it outside. He can't get the free throws if he does try to foul. So it's just tough for them. I mean, and then it's not just him. I mean, guys like Drew Holiday, they're very limited right now in the type of support that they can do. So they really need a big-time superstar. So if I'm Giannis, I'm picking up the phone. I'm reaching out. I'm trying to recruit. Like, look, come help me out. I need a superstar. That's what I would do. You say the 76ers are very dangerous when they are healthy. They have an all-around attack. That is very true. That is very true. I mean, we all know what Joel Embiid brings, Ben Simmons. But, yeah, this team, when they are healthy, they are a dangerous team for sure. It's just, honestly, though, I could see them taking Brooklyn to probably like a game 6. But, I mean, Brooklyn's just, assuming that James Harden is healthy, it's just crazy. I mean, Brooklyn's just so talented. I mean, so talented. They took this whole superstar thing and made it into a superstar team. I mean, this is like the next level. We currently have a 23-8 game at the moment. It's time for the Hawks to get on a run, especially you're on the road as well. You definitely want to go ahead and start getting on a run. You want to start getting some confidence, especially on the road. It's important for role players that they start hitting on some shots. So that's going to be key. And yeah, they're doing all this without James Harden. That is the scariest part, is that they're doing this without James Harden. Oh, your team is the Wizards. Okay, okay. You are the second Wizards fan that I have ever come across. Honestly, I mean, it's. I don't run into Wizard fans every day. Yeah, Atlanta definitely is going to want to have a very strong second quarter. It's a good thing they won game one, though. I mean, that was quite the fright at the end of the game there to see 76ers crawl back in it. But that just goes to show when a team has heart and you have pride like that, and you just you cannot go out there and do what the Bucks did and allow yourself to just get embarrassed like that. It does so much negative energy to the team. I mean, it ruins chemistry. It takes a very, very, very strong mentally group of individuals to survive something like that. When you go out there and get beat like that without, looking across and you like, you didn't help at all. You wasn't, guarding this guy. But hey, the Brooklyn Nets, they're just that team, honestly. It is crazy. Yeah, that is true. I mean, the Hawks, if they were to lose this series, they did win a game. Well, lose this game, they did win a game on the road, and so they can go back at home. And it's just you cannot underestimate, being at home, how important that is for your role players to have that crowd behind them, even your stars. Because Trey Young, he's still young, so definitely to have that crowd behind them, that will definitely propel them and help them out tremendously for sure. So yeah, definitely that is huge that they were able to win game one for sure. Right now, 76ers are currently up 28-13. Right now, Harris has the most points on both teams with 12 points. Jay in the Bay, thank you for joining the chat. If you guys like 49ers football, you definitely got to check out his channel. He is the man when it comes to 49ers news. This man is posting on the regular, so definitely check this man out and give this man a follow. You say the 76ers are looking good so far. And yeah, Embiid, he's out there playing all right. The 76ers, they are looking good. I had that feeling how they closed out game one that they were going to come out with that same type of energy in game two. There's just something about how you finish the game. It just brings a lot more momentum, if you finish positively, I should say, to the next game. And so they certainly brought it with them. And I mean, honestly, though, they had no reason in getting back in that game except for the fact that they figured out something that was working very well for the 76ers in terms of taking advantage of matchups and how to make life hard for Trey Young. I mean, he's only but so big. So they're able to bother with him and make life more difficult for him, for sure. Old man Mob, what's good? What's good? And yeah, the 76ers, I guess they saw how the Nets came out yesterday and they're like, we need that mentality throughout this game. So they're definitely coming out on a mission. They understand no team wants to get down 2-0, especially when you're the home team. That's not a good look to go down 2-0 at home. So they know what this is. They came for business today. They're not playing around. They didn't come out hoping to win. They're definitely coming out on a mission and being aggressive. Nico TV, you say when the Wizards versus the Hawks went on good runs. So you think the Hawks can go on a good run to get back in this? Oh yeah, they're definitely capable of getting on a run. I mean, we see how they can get streaky. It's just a matter of having some fall before it's too late, honestly, because they can go on a run. But as we saw, well, I'm not even gonna throw yesterday out there. You definitely want to make sure you give yourself enough time. Don't let that lead get too big. I mean, that's what hurt the 76ers in game one. They waited too late before they started to actually get on the run and come back in it. And then once they had momentum, they just didn't have enough time. So, but yeah, the Hawks can certainly do it. And I'm really hoping so. I don't want to be known as the streamer that every time I stream is a blowout. So I'm hoping that they can find a way to save me, at least on my second stream here. Yep, Hawks with the rebound. Philly still up 28-13 at this moment. They're setting a pick. Oh, that there you go. That's an easy one there, right off the pick. 28-15. Ben Simmons has it now. Joel Embiid has it at the top of the key. He kicks it down to Ben Simmons. Ben missed that one. He normally makes that. So who all here is rooting for the Atlanta Hawks to win and who all would like to see the Hawks lose to the 76ers today? Oh, Doc Rivers. 76ers bringing the ball up. They're currently up 28-15, still in the first quarter. Joel Embiid takes it to the rim. Through the injury, through the pain. This man knows what playoff basketball is all about. That's a man right there who has heard what the critics have been saying, about him since he's been in the league. And really, his biggest thing is just being healthy. Honestly, if he was healthy, he's definitely that MVP type of player. So certainly, just him being healthy was important. But that's a guy who knows how important a game like this is. These are legacy moments. When we talk about a player, and where they rank all time in history, it's games like this that we remember. So he certainly understands that. Okay, we've got one Hawks here with Nicholas. Nico TV still got the 76ers here. Yeah, it would be interesting for the Hawks to get a 2-0 lead, but if they went up 2-0, I just don't see them sweeping the 76ers. Even if they were to get up 2-0, I just don't see that happening. I'd just be satisfied with a win this series for the Hawks. But hey, if the 76ers take care of business, then you best believe when we have that 76ers and Nets matchup, not saying that I'm writing off the Bucks, but I'm not going to say I'm giving them much of a chance, then I'm definitely rooting for the 76ers. Whoever wins this game, that's who I'm rooting for in the next round, for sure. Jay in the Bay says he doesn't have a dog in the fight. The Hawks are more interesting because of Trae Young, and it's been a minute since the Hawks were in the playoffs making noise. You are right about that. I mean, you got to go back to what, like the Joe Johnson era back in those days, when just to see the Hawks, probably make it to the second round or something like that back then. So, yeah, I remember when Trae Young was coming out and everybody just kept, critiquing his size, and how that was going to translate to the NBA. But the kid showed at the collegiate level that he really had what it took to put up some numbers. And so I'm really glad to see him in this moment. This is really big for him. Old Man Mob, big Trae Young fan. But you think the 76ers would have a better chance against the Nets or Bucks? I have to agree with you there. There's no doubt that the 76ers present the bigger threat when we're talking about the matchup against the Brooklyn Nets. And I think that for the most part, we're all in agreement here. I don't think anybody here is rooting for the Brooklyn Nets to win it all. We just want to see them go down. Like, that's honestly what we all want to happen. And that's probably going to dictate who I root for in terms of the Western Conference as well. Now that my Lakers are out, just someone I would love to see, even though as a Laker, you don't want to see the Suns win it. I really don't want to see the Clippers win it. That might be the only time that I might possibly root for the Nets, just not to see the Clippers get it. But honestly, though, if Chris Paul and the Suns are up there, Devin Booker, I would like to see them get the chip, honestly, because Chris Paul, he deserves it. He's been through so much, so many big games, then have an injury, just take it out from him. That's tough to watch. So I would love to see Chris Paul, get a chip. And yeah, the 76ers, they can guard those guards for the Nets for sure. They definitely do have the size. That is for sure. And you're right, Joel Embiid, he does present a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of problems for sure. And he's going to have to be healthy. Like, we really want him healthy for that game so that way he can go out there, no limitations, because he's going to have to go all out. I'm talking about the Joel Embiid that had people talking MVP throughout the regular season. We need to see that each and every game and then some, because we're not just talking any type of team. We're not talking one of those, like typical championship level teams. We're talking about one of those historically good type of teams. And so Durant does a good job of surrounding himself with historically great talent and top of, the talent he's already got. So, yeah. Nico TV, you hope to see the Suns in the finals and can probably beat the Nets. Yeah, it will be so hard. But one thing is that, obviously with Devin Booker, what he presents in terms of being able to go off, Chris Paul and his leadership, that is going to be what really keeps them in it. Because, I mean, on Brooklyn's side, they have two guys that already, got the chip, and Kyrie and Kevin Durant. So they know championship basketball. And although Chris Paul doesn't have a chip, you might as well say that he knows championship basketball. This man, he is definitely the reason why they're able to perform the way that they are. He takes so much pressure off of Devin Booker. And so that comes up to be extremely huge right there. Extremely. But yeah, the Suns could win it all. I feel like so many teams out there on any given night, though, they can get hot from outside. Just I mean, obviously, exception being the Milwaukee Bucks, they're more so, like gonna have to rely on whatever Giannis can give them. That's why they might as well just go ahead and get put out this round. They're not going to be able to do much, past this anyways. But yeah, Chris Paul. I mean, he's definitely probably one of the best managers and leaders. The game. You're right that he's ever that the game's probably ever seen. As a Lakers fan, I really wanted Chris Paul to join the Lakers. I remember going back to when Kobe Bryant was there, and we brought Dwight Howard over via trade. I think it was trade or free agency, and then we tried to trade for Chris Paul, but that trade got rejected by the former commissioner. He was like, "Nope, not going to happen." And so you can only imagine what could have been if we had all of them on the same roster. And I love the response that CP3 gave, when Charles Barkley was pretty much trying to interview him and was talking about, are you afraid of, having to play the Lakers in the first round? Although I'm a Lakers fan, but I love his response. Had the utmost respect, the way that he saw it. He's been in the Western Conference his entire career. So he has played many great teams, going against, teams like the Spurs, the Rockets, back when the Rockets had Tracy McGrady, Yao Ming, all of them. So he's definitely been against some of the best that the West has presented. And he's more than held his own. If he had not gotten hurt against, a team like the Warriors back then, who knows? They most likely would have won. Injuries has been the only thing to keep him back, for sure. And yeah, you feel my pain. You feel my pain. The fact that they stopped CP3 to the Lakers, Kobe and CP3, that would have been nasty. I have no doubt about that. No doubt about it. You add him there, that's at least another ring for Kobe right there. And yeah, that's the beauty of this year, honestly. It's just so many good teams out there. So many good teams. I mean, it was tough watching Dallas lose to the Clippers. I really wanted Dallas to beat the Clippers, especially when my Lakers lost. It would have been so much of a consolation to see the Clippers get put out in the same round as well. Cannot tell you how big that would have been, but unfortunately, Dallas just fell short. But that honestly, it was just the team that the Clippers have was extremely deep, compared to Dallas. Luca, he needed a little bit more assistance from his teammates in that final game, and he fell short. It happens. Everybody can't get the chip the same year, so certainly understand that. Oh yeah, if that trade would have went down with Chris Paul, he most definitely that team would have definitely won the chip because we're talking about a younger version of Chris Paul too. On top of the fact that we were talking about, Dwight Howard at that time, CP3 would have made sure that Howard was getting the ball, so he would have been a lot more happier back then than he was, and so that team would have just been extremely loaded and would have definitely gotten the chip. But instead, we ended up with Steve Nash, and yeah, Steve Nash was not the same Steve Nash that we saw against when he was with the Phoenix Suns. So that did not work out there at all. Oh yeah, it would have been CP3's team for sure, no doubt about it for sure. But yeah, let's keep talking about the Lakers here. It's helping the Atlanta Hawks somewhat. So we've got a 33-22 game right now. So let's keep this energy going. And yeah, Luca really did have to do everything, like literally everything. And so that I mean, honestly though, what he means to the Dallas Mavericks, that definitely, I love him with the Dallas Mavericks. Just get some more pieces for him around him, honestly. Let's go ahead and get rid of Porzingis. Let's actually get some pieces around him that's going to be able to complement what he brings to the table. We don't need a guy that's out there, tallest guy out there, and he wants to pull up from the 3 point line every single time. That we don't need that. And yeah, you're right. It was the old version of Steve Nash for sure. The man, I think he last got hurt carrying his bag like off the what was it off the bus or off the airplane, something like that. A simple task like that put him out for the season towards the end of his career. So I was not happy about that at all. 33-22. Harris has 16 points. He's still leading all in scoring. 8 for 9 field goals right now. His only miss has been a 3 point attempt. Embiid currently has 4 rebounds, still 5 points. Trae Young needs to get more points, though. You need your stars to be stars in games like this. And yeah, Nico, you were right. The NBA did not want to see CP3 to the Lakers. And then you're right. They did let this happen with the Brooklyn Nets. They should have stepped in and stopped, Harden from going to the Nets. Anywhere but the Nets. But that's just the bias that they have against the Lakers. I just don't see Damian Lillard being traded. From what it seems like, as much as Dame wants to win, he seems like he doesn't want to do it the way that everybody else has done it in terms of building a superstar and super team and being a part of a super team. Dame wants to do it for Portland. He wants to do it in Portland. And so I really feel for the guy. I'm hoping that they're able to, just attract another big piece that can come in and help him get that chip. But he wants to be loyal to one team throughout his career. I agree. Dame would definitely he would try to stay and try to make it work down there in Portland. Despite the fact of what he's always going to be hearing so far from everybody who likes to go out there and pretty much criticize a man who's going out there dropping 55 points basically and still just falling a little short. I mean, the man, he's out there balling. It's fun to watch him play, honestly. One of the most exciting players to watch because when you see him on a court, he's going to bring it each and every time. Going to bring it. A good trade would be Nurkic and Covington for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Tristan Thompson. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. And all those Boston players. I mean, Boston really underachieved this year, honestly. That was really one of the, I guess, biggest impressions that I have in terms of teams that underachieved. I really had higher expectations for Boston towards the beginning of the season. So but yeah, definitely just they have to mix it up. They have to do something different, honestly. Getting rid of the coach, that's one thing. But you really have to be out there showing, Dame that, look, we're committed to you. We're committed to helping you get that chip, because that's what happened to James Harden with the Rockets. They just kept him there and he kept losing, 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 great regular season, getting your MVPs, getting your money. You can show up when you want to show up, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a chip, everybody's just going to keep disrespecting you when it comes to the media. So getting the chip is going to be so important for these guys. So definitely want to help them get in the best position to do that. Carmichael, am I going to be streaming football? Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I am looking forward to that. Matter of fact, next year I'm going to be streaming a lot of NFL games, a lot of college football games as well, even some college hoops, as well as some NBA games, although I'll probably focus on more so the playoffs when it comes to NBA games. I mean, I can't stream all of them. November would be a crazy month when they're all pretty much, playing at that time. But certainly I'm going to be streaming a lot more games, moving forward. Yeah, Boston, they certainly did underachieve. Um, and so, yeah. Let's see. Nico TV, Dame don't want to be playing with anybody from the Clippers. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. For sure. For sure. Oh, yeah. But Dame, he's definitely, honestly, he's got to be one of my favorite players that's currently playing right now. It's been tough ever since Kobe Bryant retired because when he was playing, all I did was root for Kobe Bryant as a Lakers fan. I mean, that's all I knew. Ever since Shaq left the Lakers, it's really just been Kobe and then just, guys like that. I also was huge, tremendously fond of Tracy McGrady when he was with the Rockets and he was playing despite his injuries. I was extremely fond of him. And then once LeBron started the superstar team in Miami, that's when I started to get a little annoyed at that team. And obviously, I know what the Celtics did as well, but I really felt that when it was LeBron down there because he was like currently on the rise to becoming the best player in the league. And then he joined up with D Wade, who earlier in his career people compared to Michael Jordan, but that comparison that stopped once his knee gave out on him, and he started getting hurt a lot more. But yeah, so it's been. But I like what Dame, what he represents. He's all about his team, his city, and he feels like a lot of this. I'm pretty sure that he's probably thinking if he did a little bit more, he'd be able to help his team win the chip. Now we all know he needs more help, but Dame, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's looking around blaming his teammates. He's probably just trying to find a way to get even better. If he's got to shoot from half court at 50%, he'll probably try to do it. Oh, yeah. So we do have a ball game. 76ers are currently up 35-29. Atlanta has fought their way back here in the second. Ooh, what an air ball. Okay, so Atlanta has it, looking to score. Up 76ers, they stole it. Ben Simmons has it. Harris, he's been the hot hand. At least he was early in the first. Oh, they call travel in the NBA. How about that? You don't get a lot of travels, that's for sure. Old man Mob, you say if he wants to win, he needs another number one guy. He really does. He really does. I've been honestly thinking to myself, if someone like say, if I'm Giannis and if I'm trying to leave the Bucks, why not join Dame down there in Portland? I mean, he needs guys around that can shoot. So Dame, CJ, them guys, they can score. He just got to do what he do best, honestly, and that may be enough potentially, but not if he keeps folding in the playoffs like this. Then it really wouldn't help nobody, honestly. Just gonna put that out there. Nico, you say Kobe was such an inspiration to so many people, even though you was young and you knew a lot about Kobe. He was top five, easily maybe even top three all time. I have to agree. I honestly have to agree because there are some things you just can't teach that he possessed. That desire to constantly, that hunger to keep getting better. When the game's on the line, he wants the ball and he wants to score and win for his team. He doesn't look for excuses. He was able to take a team that had Smoosh Parker and company, not no insult to them whatsoever, but he was able to take that Lakers team and have them go up 3-1 against the Phoenix Suns. It would have been so great if he was able to finish that right there. But just to take a team like that, where the second best player probably that season was Lamar Odom, and then there was a big drop off. You had guys like Luke Walton and stuff like that playing. He was able to take that team against a very young and prime Steve Nash and company, Amari Stoudemire, those guys. So what Kobe did, he was an inspiration for sure. The mindset, being able to come back after losing Shaq and then to show that you're even better. You switch your jersey to show that you're three times as good as you was back then. You matured, changed your game, and still, best in the league. The way he did it, he didn't go, I hate to say it like this, but he didn't go run into another team. He basically did it with the team that he, was with his entire career, basically. So I feel you there. And yes, the Hawks are coming back. They are coming back, and they are back. It's 35-33. They are back. And we still got plenty of time to go in a second. This is the kind of game that I was expecting right here. So this is perfect. For the 76ers, they're going to need a little bit more from Ben Simmons right now. Honestly, that would help them. That and for Joel Embiid, coming off of his career high 39 points that he had in game one, Embiid's going to have to do a little bit more offensively. Although he's been involved early on, just a little bit more scoring. Look at that. The Hawks getting offensive rebounds. Yep, he threw that to the guy in the bleachers. You say you wouldn't want to see him with anyone crazy, but Giannis could be a great fit. Honestly, yeah. I mean, both of these guys, they honestly, they know how important it is to get a chip, and for Giannis, I mean, if you have to be the one to go and join Dame in Portland, I say do it. I would love to see that, actually. I would really love to see that. As you say, it wouldn't be anybody crazy. It's not like he's going out and bringing in Kevin Durant or anything like that. You also say fans created super teams because they say you can't have a legacy without a chip. That is very true. Very true. They always say that. They always throw that out there. And I'm like, look, this is a team sport. This is not a one-on-one sport as much as we like to, go out there and say, oh, this is one-on-one. Truth be told, Allen Iverson, when he played the Lakers back then, it was really just AI, out there versus versus the Lakers. But outside of him, like you cannot ask a guy to go out there and take on an entire team, especially what the Brooklyn Nets have. That is historic talent right there. So you can't ask a man like that. Yeah, I say your legacy is what you've shown that you're able to do consistently. That honestly it's what people remember. I mean, because you got to remember, throughout the regular season, it's about the people that show up in the stands. They spend their money to go watch you play. What kind of impact did you have on them? That kid that wanted to, have you sign their jersey. Did you sign their jersey? Things like that, the little stuff. Did you make their experience worth the money that they invested throughout the regular season? If you did that like Damian Lillard does, and he's constantly out there, just showing out, honestly. Every game is a great game when you're watching Dame play. He goes out there and leaves it on the court. That's the stuff you're going to remember for life. And so when a guy can go out there and ball. And Dame, he can ball. Old man mob. Kobe Bryant is your favorite player, and you have 10 Kobe Bryant jerseys. 10 Kobe Bryant jerseys. That is fantastic. I need to step up my game and get some more Kobe jerseys. That is for sure. Your favorite is number 8. Okay, I actually tried so hard back in high school when I was playing basketball to get the number 24 because that was Kobe's number. Didn't work out. I had to settle for 21. But even in middle school, I really wanted to have 24. And so, yeah, certainly feel you there. Let's see. And yes, you're right, Nico. I won't be that streamer that every stream is a blowout now. Like that was so tough last time to watch. Because there's not much I could have said that helped the Bucks. You got. I'm like, give me something to work with here. Make it at least a 10-point game at some point. But they went out there and played the worst game they could possibly play. And yeah, it was AI against the best team in the league. It definitely. Oh yeah, Allen Iverson. I mean, if I could have handles like AI and look as smooth as he did on the court, hey, that that was the dream right there. Because when you look at Allen Iverson, he wouldn't be that much more taller than me, so it seemed like something that would have been within reach. But he definitely was extremely intelligent. Great teammate, and just what he was able to do. Definitely very very iconic. Definitely. Not enough people mention AI, they tend to forget. But yeah, AI, he was definitely the answer. Okay, Nico, your favorite player is Russell Westbrook. I mean, he gets so much shit. Oh, yeah, definitely. And honestly, you can blame Kevin Durant a little bit for some of that. When he left, he didn't have to throw Russell under the bus like that, talk about, although it didn't directly come from him, it seemed it was more so just, his camp or whoever decided to leak it, talking about he felt he couldn't win with Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook, the guy plays with heart. I mean, yeah, there's sometimes does he need to pass it when he takes some of those shots? Sure. But I mean, I'd rather see that than to see what I've seen from some stars where, their team's losing. It's an elimination game, and you passing the ball, they pass it right back immediately. You pass it to them again, pass it right back. They don't want no part of taking a game winning shot. And so you definitely need guys that's not afraid to shoot, especially from your stars. So I definitely get that. Nico, you said you got like one Kobe jersey. At least I'm not the only one that's got like just about one, honestly. You had 24 in football. Okay, I had 34 in football. See, you know, when I was growing up in Miami, Ricky Williams was that guy that everybody wanted to be like, and he wore 34. And so it only made sense that, since I got to play a little bit of running back there, I was like, well, give me 34, you know, definitely. Oh yeah, I feel you, old man Mob. I do feel you. Hey, as long as you got it, that's it. Customize them. Hey, do what you got to do. Oh yeah. Russ definitely did put the team on his back in 2017. And Bron has done that so many times. So many times. And at this point, I feel bad, honestly, for the whole LeBron James versus Michael Jordan conversation because, in all honesty, if you look at it, it was two different eras. It's extremely hard to, like pinpoint who'd be better here, who'd be better there. They both specialize in a different way. LeBron is a different type of leader than what Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan, from what we saw in the documentary and stuff, Michael's going to make sure that you finish that you go across the finish line regardless. Michael, he was going to carry the team. He wants to take that last shot. He wanted to make sure his teammates had a strong mentality, and he was going to test you to make sure that you lived up to that. But LeBron James, he's a different type of leader, and he honestly fits what today's leader should be like, honestly, in terms of just because honestly, if you have the Michael Jordan mindset in today's day and age, they're not going to respond too well to that. They're going to want to leave. They're going to demand that they get traded. So it would be extremely hard to do that. And so definitely understand, what LeBron's going through in terms of just having to deal with so much and carry the team. Although at this point of in this stage of his career, he needs Anthony Davis a lot more than he would if he was younger at this point. He still got it, but he shouldn't be carrying the whole team anymore on his back. He's just too much mileage on the vehicle at this point. Too much mileage. Up and just like that, the 76ers are up 46-37. And so Ben Simmons has it. He passes it. One thing I will say though, when I was watching the Brooklyn Nets yesterday, I mean the way they passed that ball, I felt like they was passing it about 3, 4 times. They were passing it the way that they coach you up in high school to pass the ball around. They wasn't even worried about who was shooting at that point. They just everybody understands their role as a team, honestly. And so for the 76ers, if they do advance beyond this round, they're gonna have to make sure that, like these guys they're going to have to play selfless basketball, and they're going to have to play the best basketball that they probably have played this season about at least 4 or 5 times to walk out of there as and win the series against a team like the Brooklyn Nets. Old man Mob, you're not a LeBron fan. Okay, I feel you there. But when it's all said and done, he'll be a top three. And you say your top three, you'd put MJ one, Kobe two, LeBron three. For the longest, especially before LeBron joined the Lakers, anybody who has known me before knew that I gave LeBron the biggest crap of just about anybody in terms of just. I didn't like the fact that he was, joining superstar teams here. I wasn't too fond of, what he did to the NBA in terms of creating all these superstar teams. I wasn't fond of that, but now that he's been on my Lakers for a while, I'm a Lakers first, so I certainly root for his success as opposed to his failure and all like that. But Kobe Bryant, definitely what Kobe did, the relationship between MJ and Kobe, I mean that is definitely one of the. I love how close those two, were. That was certainly something there. It felt like, obviously the respect that Kobe showed MJ was so great that's why they never really put that comparison of MJ and Kobe because Kobe knew what MJ was. That was always his goal that he was chasing, and that's what drove him. That's what motivated him to, try to surpass MJ. And so certainly those two, like obviously, their errors overlapped. And so, Kobe understood the mindset that MJ had and he carried it over as far as he could until he ended up getting injured and tearing his Achilles. And then it was just downhill from there. So, but personally, yeah, if I'm picking players, MJ one, Kobe two, because I want my superstars to go out there and to actually take over the game, especially when it's late in the game, regardless. I mean, LeBron plays team first, and that is great. That's great, especially if you're playing like in the All-Star game. That is absolutely great. But sometimes the talent around you just isn't there, and you got to take over. And yeah, Nico, you were right about that. Yeah, the MJ mentality in today's day and age, yeah, that would not go over so well with a lot of people. So yeah, we think we see players wanting to get traded. Yeah, yeah, there'd be a lot of that. That's fair right there. LeBron's career is not over, and so therefore he still has some years left. Although some people have made up in their mind that there's no way that he can pass, but it's like you said. I mean, his career is not done. The guy is doing stuff at this age that others would only dream of being able to do. Perhaps even 10 years, younger than his age right now. So he's certainly still out there. Still, he's proven. LeBron doesn't have to prove anything to anyone else at this point of his career. If he decides to step away from the game today, he's done more than enough, and not just on the field, but within the community as well, especially Cleveland, Ohio. Those guys, they really should be a lot more grateful for what LeBron has done, for the community down there as well. Who do I think is better, Dame or Curry? That is a very, very good question. Very good question. I mean, for me, it's like 1A and 1B, but given right now where everybody's at right here, right now, if I'm picking a player between the two, I'm picking Dame right now. That's just it. That's just what it is. I mean, because I feel like obviously, Steph Curry, he showed me a lot this year, being able to carry the team, pretty much by himself for the duration of the season and almost get them into the playoffs. Honestly, if we were going off the regular format, then yeah, he would have made the playoffs. But I got to give it to Dame right now. The man is just scoring at ease. Not just from the 3 point line. I'm talking about just purely scoring in general. So give me Dame. And so right now we have the 76ers up 54-47 over the Hawks. Joel Embiid pulls up for the three and he makes it. He makes it 57-47. Oh yeah, Philly knows how important this game is. Trey Young, oh man. Oh, what a block. Okay, there you go. There you go. Give him this basket. Oh yeah, that was just bad defense. The defense broke down on that one. Oh, Danny Green. Old man mob. Kobe Bryant took over the NBA and put the whole sport on his back when MJ left. That he did, and that definitely gets overlooked because I'm sitting around right now and I'm like, if obviously if LeBron left the game right now, I'm like, technically there'd be no question as of right now, what Kevin Durant would mean, but Kevin Durant has taken the role of the villain right now, so a lot of people would love to hate him, but when it was Kobe Bryant taking over for MJ, that transition was so smooth. I mean, that would be like when Joe Montana took, Steve Young took over for Joe Montana. It was just a very smooth transition, very smooth. And there was a lot to love about his game. I mean, dropping 81 points in a game in the fashion that he did it, come on now. That's excitement right there. That's excitement. And to be able to, basically have two separate dynasties, one, with Shaq, but then a different version of yourself, without him, with Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum for a little bit, Ron Artest, or should I say Meta World Peace, whichever he's going by this today. But yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, Nico. Dame has certainly been the top guy on his team, and definitely scores with ease. Cannot emphasize this enough. The man scores with ease. And so if I'm taking a player, in terms of top players, I like guys that can score at ease, especially in today's day and age. You definitely need guys that can score with ease. Oh yeah. Okay. Nicholas, you're hopping off. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by the stream, and you have a great day, brother. And yeah, Nico, it was just like Jordan never left because they were very similar. And that's why MJ really just took a liking to Kobe Bryant because he saw so much of himself. He saw that hunger, that determination, that mindset. I mean, wow, that was just definitely that is what caught MJ's attention. So if you get acknowledged by MJ, that says something right there. Yeah, Nico, I'm right there with you. I think Meta World Peace changed his name again. I can't keep up with it. I just can't. I cannot. Yep. So right now we have a 57-49 game with the 76ers currently up. We're almost at halftime. We've got a minute left before the half. Currently, right now, the leading scorer is still Harris, as he has 18 points, 9 for 12. Most of those came in the first quarter. Seth Curry has gotten hot. He's gotten 14. Most of those have come in this second quarter here. Embiid has 16. And for the Hawks, they've been able to get some production off the bench as well, combining for so far 24 points off the bench. And so that is really what's been able to bring them back in that. And then you add the 11 that Trae Young has been able to bring as well. But we're going to need a little bit more from Trae Young at this point. If they're going to win this game, Trae Young needs to have a good about 35 plus, I say. And yeah, Nico, I feel you there. Sometimes it feels like Curry doesn't show up when it matters most, and Dame's always shows up in the clutch. That right there, honestly, was a deciding factor when it came to my decision as well. Because every time I look, if I see Portland playing and I see game five, game six, game seven, I already know what Dame's going to do. Dame's going to go out there and it's going to be Dame time. Now, when it's Curry, I mean, what he did this season was very impressive, but I have seen some times in the finals where he just you're like, okay, it's about to happen, and then it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And so, yeah, old man Mob, when MJ cried at Kobe's tribute, it was like a big brother, little brother losing his little brother. Yeah, definitely. And MJ doesn't just cry for anybody. I mean, we all saw, when he lost his father, understandably, he was very emotional then. But that just goes to show how much, Kobe Bryant meant to him and how close those two really were. And so, yeah, their relationship, that was definitely something that, cannot be understated right there. Uh, Jay Mills in the house. Thanks for joining the stream. You said don't count us out just yet. I feel you there. Yeah, the Hawks, they're going to come back here. They are going to find a way to win this game. Right now it's 57-55. This would be extremely huge if the Hawks can find a way to win this game and go up 2-0 on the road. That would just really be fantastic right there. Just this series right here. We'll worry about the Nets in the next round, and we're just going to assume that the Nets at this point, are going to keep control of that series there. We'll worry about that when we get there. But for this right now, this would be huge for the city of Atlanta if they're able to go out there and win this game, go up 2-0, and then bring it to Atlanta, and then hopefully win both home games. Wouldn't that be a story to tell for years? Nico, you say Harris is underrated. He can drop 30 if Embiid doesn't do good, and that's rare when Embiid has bad games. That is true. That is very true. He has a great backup scorer and more backups behind him. Oh, yeah, definitely. They do have scorers on their team. I mean, they honestly really do. Guys like Seth, guys that can go off, but they need for them, especially if we're talking against a matchup like like the Brooklyn Nets, they need to all go off around the same time consistently if they were to have a chance in a game like that. Honestly, Mills making a bold prediction here: Hawks in 4. Well, I say bold, but if they win this game, then hey, I'm right there with you. I'm hoping that's the case. Go ahead, because it's looking like the Nets are going to win in 4. So let's not tire ourselves out here. Let's go ahead, and if the Hawks are going to win this, just go ahead and just pull out the broom. Let's just pull out the broom, and we'll get ready for that next matchup quickly, for sure. Nico, you said they can win in at least 6, huh? Well, yeah, we're just being bold here. We're being bold here. But more than likely, yeah, like as I mentioned earlier, I don't see the 76ers getting swept. But it'd be nice, but I just don't see it. But hey, if the Hawks can find a way to win this game, that'll be great. Now if they can find a way to make it a series against Brooklyn, then hey, go ahead and just retire every Hawks player's jersey right here, right now. Mills, you say that you're hoping that we don't choke like in 2015 against the Cavs. Oh yeah, Oh yeah, that's going back. That's going back there. Old vintage Braun with the Cavs back then. But yeah, I mean, I honestly like what the Hawks have, and I'm excited for their future. Trey Young, he's great and he's getting even better. But the fact that he is choosing to still, well, especially in game one, I'm still waiting for game two for that to still show up a little bit more. But he is still making an impact in the big games, and so that's how you really tell a superstar when it's all said and done. How do you produce in the big game? Everybody likes to look at championships and stuff. Is no, what do you do when your team needs you the most? If you can tell me that you're going out there and you're dropping 55 points, when it matters most for your team and you fall up just a little bit short, I'm not going to hold it against you for not having the championship at the end of the day. That's just it. I mean, it's a team sport. It takes more than just one, two people at times, so that's just how it is. Nico, you said the Hawks got a new and improved team. They probably got a better team this year from 2015. Yeah, that I'll answer that. Yeah, they definitely do, for sure, for sure. Zero to Hero, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you. And actually, my knowledge of baseball is not very well at all. So I mostly cover football so far, but that's because in the off season there's a lot more news to go over. I had never done a stream before. My channel started up like towards the end of December, so around that time it was just finishing up on football playoffs for the football, and then the NFL off season. But hey, I'm expanding to basketball as well. I've got subpar basketball knowledge, but next season I'll be able to watch more regular season games and be caught up to speed with that. So expect a lot more NFL, NBA, as well as some college sports as well. I'll also be covering some streams for some college sports as well, particularly football and some basketball. Nico, you said you did a video on Klay Thompson saying what if he didn't have such a good game in Game 6. Oh, that is right now. That is right. Klay did go off, and that's the thing that when you're talking, Steph versus Dame, you gotta consider the fact that Steph has had Klay with him the whole way. And now Dame does have CJ now like in the last few seasons, but Klay, what he has been able to do to help out, especially when he got hurt in the finals, it was very evident just how important Klay Thompson was for that team. To have him and Durant. So I definitely feel you there. Definitely. Mills, you say that 2015 team had four All Stars. But yeah, I really like this younger team much better because I feel like sometimes you can have a team that they have All Stars, but they don't have strong chemistry together. They're just four good players, like individuals or maybe, on different teams in different roles. But this team really gels together for the Hawks. That is for sure. They've got a young, core here that's only going to continue to improve. And so I like what they do. They bring some excitement for sure. Definitely. That's why I was definitely looking forward to streaming this game for sure, especially after yesterday. I mean, yesterday, watch the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. That was a no. I'm hoping that things are at least a lot closer tomorrow, but we will have to see. Oh yeah, but I think we're all in agreement here. It's exciting watching Trey Young play. I mean, Trey Young, he can sell tickets by himself right now for the Atlanta Hawks, and so really exciting. Nico, you say Clay is a lot better than CJ. CJ is a liability on defense, and Clay guards the best ball handler and can easily drop 20 to 25 points. Yeah, you are right about that. You are absolutely right about that. Um, when it comes to the two, I mean, Clay is just, he will guard the best guy. He will get hot. He will drop 30, 40 and a quarter, if you let him. And so definitely what he's able to do is, that's a lot better than what Dame has with CJ. But CJ's, he's good. He's good. He's definitely a good, second option. But if you're going to win a championship, though, that you're going to need a little bit better second option than that, for sure. Up, Nico, you say you're not too fond of Trey Young, huh? When he doesn't draw fouls and flops, then he's amazing. I feel you there, but that's just really the culture, honestly, of just about every. I feel like it's as if they had a conversation and saying, "Hey, if you're a star to superstar, you have to cry to the ref, after every single play, so that way you get in their ear so much that they start giving you those calls just to keep you quiet." Honestly, I mean, you see it just around the league, honestly. But I feel you there. I feel you there. I was excited to see Julius Randle as well for the Knicks. I mean, obviously being drafted by the Lakers, when LeBron came and he cleaned house, I knew that those guys were eventually going to be good, but obviously at that point in time, we need to build a team that can win now. Bron's not getting any younger, but yeah, to see Julius Randle with the Knicks as well, although they got put out by the Hawks, yeah, I was excited to see them as well. It was good to see some new faces, in the playoffs. I mean, last time the Knicks were basically a playoff team was back when Melo was there, during the Phil Jackson era down there. Nico, you want to see the best scorers play against real defenses from the 90s. Well, all I can say is that if these scorers are going to have a chance, they need to go by the current rule. They can't go by the rules back in the 90s because that would completely devastate a lot of their games, honestly. Like those type of fouls there, yeah, those defenses would devastate these offenses, especially for going by the rules of the 90s in terms of how it's going to be officiated. So definitely, definitely. Yep, but as a team, the Atlanta Hawks are shooting 49% field goal percentage and 31% from the 3-point line, whereas the 76ers are shooting 53% field goal percentage and 55% from the 3-point line. So certainly the difference is 76ers are hitting some threes. But with that being said, though, the Hawks are right there in the thick of things with a strong second quarter, scoring 35 points to Philly's 24 in the second quarter. Whereas in the first quarter, Philly had 33 to Atlanta's 20. So this can be a huge game for the Hawks if they're able to steal yet another road game, become these road warriors. That would be, yeah, that would be huge. Mills, you say at times you think Trey takes many bad shots, but the question is a bad shot if it goes in. You're right about that. Sometimes his shot selection, he just pulls up, but that's just his game, honestly. And as a coach, you never want to tell a guy who's, a great shooter, like, hey, that's a bad shot. Don't shoot that. You want to make sure that his confidence is that he feels that at any given moment, like he takes a shot, we're good with it. And the type of production that he gets, yeah, we're good with it. I mean, you want to shoot from behind the stands, go ahead. As long as it's going in more times than not, we're cool with it. And so, definitely. Now there is such a thing as a bad shot. Any shot that Giannis shoots that's beyond 8 feet, that's a bad shot. So there is such a thing as a bad shot, but not for Trey Young. However, old man mob, the NBA need to work on these refs because they get hurt over. Yeah, they do. They really do. They really, really do. I mean, these referees, they feel entitled at times. I mean, you look at them wrong. That you're getting Rasheed Wallace out there. You're getting thrown out the game. You talk to him, and don't make the mistake of trying to touch him and just get like I'm talking about just like calmly touch him and be like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you. And like, no, 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 they're not having it. They're not having it. And yeah, Nico, you're right. Back then you were allowed to touch, like get your hands on the guy back then and just, really let him know your presence, because sometimes that can throw a person off, honestly. Oh yeah, Nico, a Dame, like I'm telling you, there is no bad shot for Dame. The only bad shot for Dame is the shots that he don't take, in my opinion. So if I'm there, I'm saying I want Dame to shoot. I don't care where it's from. We just inbound the ball, go ahead and shoot because Dame can do it. So a bad shot for Dame is just a shot he does not take. There you go. Oh yeah, Kyle Corver. All right, Nico. Hey, enjoy your meal. I'll definitely be here for the entire second half, and hopefully this game will still be close. That's the only thing I ask, win or lose for either team. Just let the game be close and go down to the final couple seconds. Uh, so that's all I can ask. Carmichael, welcome back. Yes, yeah, oh yeah, old man mob. You are certainly right. These refs, yeah, they do not want to go back in a day. That is for sure. That is for sure. The league has just changed so much, from way back then. So much. You think about what the Pistons, how they tried to stop, like the Bulls from being able to advance, like the type of fouls that they did back then and the type of players that they had back then and the mindsets that you had really where you basically was going to rough up a superstar. Oh, yeah, today's referees, they don't want no part of that. No part of it. These superstars don't either. Carmichael, I'm gonna say I'm rooting for the Hawks to win. I really want to see the Atlanta Hawks win this game. I'm glad that they were able to, fight back in it early. Let's not go into the locker room down by a lot. Now they've got that momentum back that they had in the first game, and so if they're able to steal this could be extremely huge for the series moving on. Now that they'll be at home in Game 3 and Game 4, and so at the very least, I would expect for them to be able to at least split that. Hopefully, win both, but at least my expectation is to split 1-1 for them at home if they're able to win this game here. So that would be huge for them. Mills, you say that it's sad how the players basically whine and complain to the refs after every play. Just play ball. I mean, you're doing what so many people would love to be doing right now. What happened to the love of the game? Go out there, and if the refs give you the call, great. If they don't, don't cry about it. Just go out there and make sure that the next time you finish the play. That's the best way to score. Finish. So I feel you there. But yeah, there are some guys that every time they miss, they're not getting back on defense. They're turning around and they're looking for the referee, and they want to identify, okay, why didn't I get that call? It's like, do you not know the name on the back of my jersey? And the ref's like, I know your name. That wasn't a foul. Who do I think is the worst team overall? That is a very, very good question, honestly. When I think of the worst team overall in the NBA, in terms of just purely talent and not going off of records, um, I would have to say, I want to say, honestly, I feel like it has to be a team like perhaps like maybe the Pistons, because I just don't like what the Pistons have been doing lately. I really miss the days where the Pistons were a lot more competitive. It made the playoffs like so much better. But I probably would go with the Pistons. Oh yeah, but I mean, come to think of it though, you could easily say the Rockets though, without now that they don't have Harden or anything like that. But yeah, I really don't like what the Pistons have done so far. Oh yeah, but Atlanta has definitely relied on their bench in this game, and their bench has came true for them. 32 points off the bench. All right, so the second half is about to get on the way, and Atlanta's gonna get the first shot to try to get some points as they bring it up court. Okay, so Atlanta's passing the ball a lot better now, a lot more passes, I should say. Up 76ers with the steal. Embiid on the fast break. There you go. That's how you finish right there. I love how he switched his hands mid-air and was able to convert. Okay, Atlanta comes out and they score 59-57. 76ers up by two. Ben Simmons has it. Ben Simmons has had a pretty quiet night offensively. So is Danny Green. Oh, yeah, you definitely can tell the difference in intensity that the Atlanta Hawks are bringing compared to when this game first got started. The best team is definitely right now the Brooklyn Nets, without question, in terms of just pure talent and what they're capable of. I mean, right now, what we saw yesterday when the Brooklyn Nets basically just destroyed the Milwaukee Bucks, that probably wasn't even their A-plus game, honestly. They just was out there playing basketball, making sure everybody goes out there and take care of responsibility. They treated it like it was a business trip. So the Brooklyn Nets are definitely the best team. And so, especially, since the Lakers are out, they're not healthy. So, certainly the Brooklyn Nets. Old man Mob, if the Hawks come back and win this, you can see them winning it in 5 games. I think, honestly, that's what would happen. If they end up winning this game, I say 5 games as well. That sounds just about right. I don't see them sweeping the 76ers, but if they can get a 2-0 lead and then have 2 home games, at the very least, I think that they would split 1-1. And then from there, it's just a matter of winning that next game. They're still young, so they'll have to have that, mentality of how to finish against a team like this. But I definitely do like what they bring to the table. And I'm certainly hoping that they're able to get it done at least, in about 5 games. 76ers up 63-59. Atlanta has it at the top. Trae Young is making sure that he is getting the ball, and which a superstar really should be doing, making sure that they are impacting the outcome of the game. Oh, that you got to make those. You got to make those. 76ers have it for three off the break. It's good. It's good. Steph Curry with the three. 76ers 66, Atlanta 59. Steph Curry has 19 points. Trae Young, he's out there giving effort. He's out there giving effort. One thing I'll say is that, obviously we see when Devin Booker's playing, he has Chris Paul to rely on, that veteran. And so Atlanta definitely needs to try to utilize, someone to come in, provide that veteran leadership and help him out to try to make sure that he's not having to do too much, especially since he is still relatively young. Atlanta gets that bucket. That gives them 2 points right there. 76ers are currently up 66-61. Joel Embiid kicks it out. Young has it. I'm sorry, Harris. And Harris with the bucket. So right now, the 76ers, they've got Harris with 20 points. They've got Embiid with 20 points. And they got Steph Curry with 19 points. Philadelphia is up 68-63. Up Embiid with the bucket. It's now 70-63 Philadelphia. The Atlanta Hawks right now are currently shooting 51% field goal percentage wise, and from the 3-point line 33%. So basically one of every 3 shot is going down for the Atlanta Hawks from downtown. Whereas the 76ers are 55% field goal percentage on the game and 47% from downtown. Oh yeah, Embiid is doing work. He wants this. He wants this throughout the pain and everything. He wants this game. He understands how tough it would be down 2-0 and have to go on the road. So Young now has 13 points. He is 5 for 10 shooting, 0 for 4 from 3 point. They're going to need more from Young. They still need more. Embiid is making sure that his presence is felt. Again, the 76ers are up 73-65, but we do have a game. In terms of rebounds, these teams are both pretty much even. 76ers has 17, Hawks have 18 as a team. So it's just a matter, honestly, I feel like if Trae Young, if he goes out there, he's got to get more than 13 points right now. If he's able to have about 20 something points right now, we're looking at a game that's probably tied or Hawks up by a little if he's able to, convert a little bit more right now. So that is what the Atlanta Hawks currently need. But obviously the 76ers, they realize that they're taking advantage of their matchups, between Harris, Embiid, and Curry right now. That is their big three for this game. Ben Simmons has been relatively quiet. Yep. And later today, the Clippers and Jazz will be playing, and so we'll get to see how that series is going to look. I'm hoping that the Utah Jazz can go out there and get this first game. I would love nothing more than to see the Clippers get put out. The sooner the better. So I'm hoping for a sweep. Probably won't happen that way, but I'm definitely hoping that it does. And then tomorrow we will get to see the Nuggets and the Suns at 9:30. Suns are currently up 1-0. Definitely, I'm going to do my best to try to stream that game tomorrow, so that way I can see how the Suns, led by Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Hopefully, they'll be able to go up 2-0 against the Nuggets, but we'll see. I mean, if the Nuggets win this one, then hey, let it be a great series. But I'm rooting for the Suns in this one. Yeah, but the Atlanta Hawks, their bench has certainly provided a good spark here, and they've definitely needed that. Because their starters, they aren't putting up the type of points that you need in order to win a game like this. But the bench has certainly stepped up. Oh yeah, Trae Young, he just got to keep going at it. Honestly, Trae Young, if he's able to continue to be aggressive, put shots up, they'll start falling. And if he can just get in the zone, that is what Atlanta needs right now. They need for him to get hot right now. 76ers have it up top. Ben Simmons has it. Pass it to Joel Embiid. Shot clock violation. Up, never mind the foul. Oh yeah, Doc Rivers, he wants this one. He knows how important this is after what he experienced with the Clippers last year in terms of being put out. He knows how important it is for the 76ers to win this game right here. Yeah, but if the Hawks can shoot a little bit better than what they're shooting right now from downtown, as they're currently 33%, that would bode well for them. I mean, in terms of 3-point shooting, the Hawks don't have a starter currently who's hit a 3-pointer all game long. So they certainly have gotten all of their threes from the bench. The bench seems to be okay shooting from downtown, but the starters are not. Trae Young is 0 for 4 right now. Hill doesn't have a point in a game currently. When it comes to free throws, right now the 76ers are shooting 20% as they're 1 for 5 from the 3-point line, whereas the Hawks are 5 for 5 from the free throw line. So not too many free throws so far being out there, but Atlanta's been able to take advantage of theirs. Embiid at the free throw line. He makes it. Free throws are extremely important, especially in the playoffs. Philadelphia's up 75-65. Trae Young is bringing it up for the Hawks. He passes it. Atlanta needs to get a little bit of a run here. Okay, they get the foul. And one. 75-67 right now. Okay, 75-68. Still got about 6 minutes to go in the third. Herter has 18 for the Hawks off the bench. Embiid fouled again. Embiid's continuing to be aggressive. He has kept that mindset throughout the duration of this entire game. He hits the first one. It's just amazing to watch a guy like Embiid, for him to be that size, and that talented. It's definitely extremely rare to see a big man like that in today's game. Okay, quarter again. That's now 20 for him. And he's 3 for 3 downtown, 8 for 8 field goals. He just hasn't missed. They may want to continue to feed him. 77-70 right now. Make that 72, 77-72. 5 point game. 76ers are currently up 77-72. Atlanta's offense seems to be definitely operating much smoother now. They seem a lot more comfortable with their shots that they're taking, and they're distributing the ball to the hot hand. But Harris is doing work for the 76ers. He's got off to a fast start, and he still has it. 79-72, 76ers. Up, they hit a three. 79-75. 4 point game. Still 76ers. Embiid has it up top. Okay, Hawks have it. Trae Young has it. Kicks it in the corner for a three. You got a 1 point game here, folks. 1 point game. 79-78. Can Atlanta go ahead and take the lead? And with that timeout, yes, let's go ahead, Hawks. Let's take the lead. These teams are shooting very similar percentage when it comes to their field goal percentage, with the Hawks shooting at 54% currently, and the 76ers are at 56%. But the Hawks are now shooting 37% from three, while the 76ers are shooting 50% from three. The Atlanta Hawks currently have gotten 37 points off the bench thus far and counting. Yep, this is a very, very close game, and certainly a very important game as both teams realize what's on the line here. For the Hawks, this is an extremely important opportunity. If they're going to control the series, go ahead and win this one and be up 2-0 on the road here. And before you go to home for game 3 and 4, let's go ahead and let's try to be 2-0. That definitely helps the confidence of the team. And then the crowd, you already know the crowd's going to be ready when they go down there to play at the Hawks. So certainly, let's go ahead and try to steal this game here. Old man Mob, yes, you are right. This is a basketball game and series. I mean, yes, this is certainly much more pleasant to cover than yesterday's game for sure. And for a young player like Trae Young, this would be extremely huge for as a start of his team, for him to be able to finish this game, and make sure that these guys advance to the next game and be up 2-0. That would just be huge. And as for the 76ers, you never want to give a team, you never want to let a team just come out and run over you on your court back to back. Although I can't really say running over because both games have been close, but you at least got to get one before you go on the road for back-to-back games. Otherwise you're just completely already just against the wall just before you even go out there for game 3. But you got to give it to the Hawks now. I mean, the Hawks have certainly showed in this playoffs they're not here by chance. They're here because they belong. So I'll give them that. Yep, 79-78. 76ers up by one. They've pretty much led the entire game. Can the Hawks come out and take the lead? Steph Curry no good from three. Trae Young has it up top. Herter with the hot hand. He hasn't missed all game. Up, they got that steal. 76ers have it. Embiid has it at the top. Step back, no good. Rebound Hawks. Yes, this is what we call a game right here. Curry with another foul. Yeah, the 76er fans, they definitely don't want to lose this game. I mean, yeah, they definitely don't want to see their team go down 0-2 and then have to go to Atlanta. They really don't want to see that. Looking at their facial expressions, you would think that this game was a lot worse than them being up by one. Okay, way to draw the foul there and get yourself to the free throw line. Got to get more points here. So Trae Young at the free throw line. He hits the first. We have a tie game. Yes, you are right, old man Mob. Yes, you are absolutely correct. This is where Trae Young needs to step up and take over. His teammates have gotten him back in it. Herter's been shooting lights out. So this is where Trae Young comes in. Continue to draw these fouls, continue to keep your team in it, and carry them to the finish line. Because they're only going to go as far as he's able to take them at this point. So he certainly needs to step up now. This is a legacy moment. We have the Hawks up 80-79. Oh man, what a three. Phillies back up 82-80. See if Trae Young can respond. Nope, not quite. Not quite. Philadelphia just outmuscled them for that rebound. Oh, what a pass and what a basket and one. Yeah, you're right. I really want to see Trae Young in this moment, step up and refuse to let his team lose. Because that's the kind of mindset he's going to have. So you might as well develop it now and carry his team the rest of the way as we come to the end of the third quarter, just about. Oh, your Hawks putting in some work on offense, working for the glass, getting that second chance basket by Capella. They're going to let Trae Young get a little breather, it seems. 76ers passing it around. Embiid step back, no good. Hawks with the rebound. That shot's no good. Ah, okay, so 76ers continue to draw fouls, although they aren't able to take advantage of all of their free throws as they're currently shooting 50%, 5 for 10 as a team from the free throw line. Most of those free throws have came from Embiid, but he's 5 for 8. Make that 6 for 9. As we come to the end of this third quarter, it's going to be very important to see if the Hawks can manage to really take advantage of the time on the clock and try to finish this out either tied or with the lead. That'd be really nice. Joel Embiid is putting in work. He's definitely showed up. Ben Simmons only has 4 points at the moment, but Embiid has 31 points. But he's had some help. As Harris has 22 points. Curry's got 19. Lou Williams, no good. Embiid has it up top. Draws another foul. Yeah, Embiid, he definitely wants this game. He definitely wants this game. At the free throw line once again. Philly's up 87 to 82. Embiid at the free throw line, and it's good. Philadelphia's up 88 to 82. See if the Hawks can get up a shot here before the end of the quarter. Okay. Way to draw the foul there. Good old Lou Williams. Yep, so Lou Williams would go to shoot that second free throw. And he's got it. That's money. Philadelphia 88, Atlanta 84. Oh, well, make that 91 to 84. What a shot. Yeah, Atlanta certainly didn't want that to happen. But what a shot. Philadelphia has won the third quarter 34-29. The only quarter that Atlanta has won so far has been the second quarter, in which they outscored Philadelphia 35-24 in that quarter. But Atlanta was able to finally take the lead earlier, but Philadelphia has went on a run to end the quarter. And so we're 91-84. Embiid leads all with 33 points and 11 rebounds. Old man Mob, you say you think the Sixers should trade Ben Simmons in a package deal to get Damian Lillard. Hey, if that's possible, I say do it. Definitely do it for sure. I mean, I'm looking at Ben Simmons, and he's playing like a role player. I mean, he's facilitating the ball great, and other guys are shooting, but he's not adding, you know, much to the offense right now. And so, I mean, I get it. They don't need for him to do that right now, but at the same time, yeah, definitely. If they could do that, that'd be great. Zion, thank you so much. Yeah, you have a great night too, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by the stream. Yeah, so now we have the fourth quarter coming up. This is what's going to determine if the Hawks can win this quarter and try to go ahead and take this game here. It's going to come down to Trae Young. Honestly, he's going to have to do better. Trae Young only has 15 points right now. It's not even the highest on his team. As Herter has been the hot hand here, he hasn't missed all game. They may want to try to give him some more shots here and see if they can ride the hot hand a little longer because the bench has been extremely huge for them. Extremely. With 39 points coming off the bench, they certainly need to continue to utilize that. They're shooting about 40% from three, 52% field goal percentage, whereas the 76ers are shooting 54% from the field goal and 50% from the three-point line. So 76ers, no problem out there, with Embiid with 33, Harris 22, Curry 19, so not much from Ben Simmons in terms of just points, but he does have 7 assists. Danny Green has 8 assists with 5 points. So starting five is either scoring or getting assists and setting up buckets here. So definitely. Hill has yet to score for the Hawks in terms of the only starter that hasn't scored yet. Old man Mob, you say Ben Simmons is like Westbrook. He needs shooters and the paint cleared. It's a win-win for both teams. Oh yeah, definitely. Simmons needs some shooters around him. No doubt about that for sure. And so, yeah, and for the 76ers at this point, if they are not able to advance, especially from this round, then yeah, they definitely do need to go ahead and shake some things up. And so we know that in the past we've heard some stuff about, potentially moving on for Ben Simmons. It may be time to pull the trigger this offseason. I can't think of a better time, especially with Joel Embiid, doing as much as he's doing out there. Go ahead and let's get some more help for this man. Yeah, Danny Green, every team that he's on, it seems like they're in the playoffs. I mean, this man knows how to pick them. That is for sure. He knows how to pick them. And so, yeah, whether we're talking the Spurs back in the day, whether we're talking the Lakers, Danny Green, he knows how to pick them. I will say that. So, but I mean, basically, every team that reaches out for Danny Green, that's basically because you have a couple stars in place already. And so you're like, look, I just need to go ahead and add that one more piece, a couple more pieces, that can shoot outside to help my stars so that way they're not getting, crowded when they try to go to the lane. So that's why a guy like Danny Green, is so valuable in the league. And right now, the 76ers, they're opening up the quarter, and they are really taking advantage here. I mean, they are hungry. They can see the finish line, and they want to go ahead and get that, first W for them in the series. So, yeah, right now it's 95-84. They got the rebound, and they got the bucket. Dwight Howard, 97-84, Philadelphia. They are fired up. They are fired up. Atlanta's going to have to match and surpass their intensity somehow, some way. Somehow, some way, they're going to have to do it. Nico says not only make the playoffs, they are the biggest teams in the league um, out of nowhere. Yeah, that is true. That is true. They he just has a great eye for talent, especially when he was a little bit younger and better, in terms of what he was able to bring to the table defensively. But yeah, Danny Green, he tends to end up on these teams that are consistently going out there and having great seasons. So it's almost like he has a radar for this type of thing. So definitely, definitely. Especially with I believe Toronto. I forgot about them as well. Nico, you said the 76ers will go and be against the Nets, in your opinion, and that series will go 7 games, but the Nets will win and will play the Suns in the finals. Okay, well, how would you see the finals going in that scenario if the Nets were to play the Suns in that scenario? But yeah, what you're saying, that seems very realistic, honestly. I mean, the Hawks, I want them to win, but the 76ers, if they're able to pull this off, in which, they've got all the talent in the world to do so, and it'd be a better matchup for the Nets, obviously. I'm not going to 7 games. I would like to see that, but I probably would think more so 6 games with both of these teams. But hey, I mean, if James Harden isn't healthy, then maybe it would go 7 games. But with that being said, though, yeah, it's looking like the Brooklyn Nets are going to be representing the Eastern Conference for sure this year. Now, it would be nice to see the Suns go and see Chris Paul, in that championship. That would be fantastic. I really want that for Chris to go out there and get that ring. Then it'd be huge for a guy like Devin Booker to get that ring early in your career, so that way you never have to really, hear too much about not having the championship, for sure. Nico, you said the Nets beat the Suns in 6 or Suns win in 7. That would be one heck of a series right there if it went 7 games and then Chris Paul finally, because if Chris Paul's in the game in the fourth quarter, he's going to be that guy that comes, brings it down the court, hits a bucket, a key bucket, hits another key bucket, hits another key bucket. While everybody's looking for Devin Booker to take over, Chris Paul will be the one to take him to the finish line in that scenario, assuming that he's able to stay healthy, and that would be extremely huge for him, just being healthy being out there. But yeah, that would be exciting. I think that would really be what I would prefer to see if that's the matchup, as opposed to the Nets in 6. So, but yeah, with all my scenarios, I just want to see the Nets get put out, and the Clippers, especially the Clippers. We have a 13-point game right now. 76ers are up 97 to 84. They came out this quarter attacking, being aggressive. Joel Embiid, he has set the tone for his team. He's been that superstar and does superstar type things out there where he's 11 for 20 field goals shooting and just 2 for 3 from the 3-point line, 9 for 12 in terms of free throws, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. And so his team is fed off of his energy. It's contagious. Now they're out there stealing the ball, getting fast break points, and now it's 99 to 84. Philadelphia clearly does not want to be down 0-2. They're on an 11 to 0 run in the last 2 minutes. Whereas Atlanta, they just need to get something going. They need to get something going. They need someone to step up. Now, Herter's been, shooting well, but he's not getting enough shots up. Yeah, right now this run just keeps getting bigger for the 76ers. Keeps getting bigger. It's currently 99-84. Sixers shoot. And of course they get the three. Of course they get the three. It's 102 to 84. Atlanta's got to finish better. Obviously, in the first quarter, at game one, it didn't matter because they had a big enough lead. But right now, we see the 76ers are not going to be playing with these guys. Their intensity has stepped it up. So Atlanta's going to have to be able to match that intensity. And they're going to need a lot more from Trae Young, especially, in game three. They're going to need a lot more from him. But the 76ers, they clearly are zoned in. They're locked in. You can see the way that they're moving around. They are really focused here. Again, the score is 102 to 85. 76ers up. Lou Williams. Okay, so it's 102-86. The Hawks, they desperately need to get on the run, and the sooner the better. You have to love what the 76ers have at the post position. Obviously, when Embiid comes out, you have someone like Howard, and Howard was so huge in the playoffs last year for the Lakers. So having someone like that, that is tremendous to have him to be able to come in when he needs to for Embiid. I mean, he did get a chip last year, so Dwight Howard at the free throw line. Yep, of course. Even Howard's making free throws. 103 to 86. We still got 9 minutes and some seconds left in this quarter here. So Atlanta, they can get on the run here. Phillies up 104 to 86. Trey Young has it. Hawks are moving the ball around. 76ers do not want Young to get open, but he's open for three, and he missed it. Young he's got to be more involved, and he's got to be scoring a lot more. This team just cannot afford for him not to be out there, at close to his best, if not his best, each and every performance. 76ers are making it hard on Young. Okay, Hawks with the putback. That's Collins. 104 to 88. Hawks are going to play tremendous defense from here on out. Kicks it out for three, and it's good. Just like that. Milton with the three. 76ers are up 107 to 88. Milton has 14 on the game, 5 for 7 field goals on the game, and 44 for 5 from 3 points in this game. As a team, they're shooting 57% from downtown. Trey Young has it, draws the foul. Again, the 76ers are up 107 to 88. It's not looking good for Atlanta at the moment. Okay, Trey Young got the free throw. Oh yeah, this has been a tough night for Trey Young out there. I mean, there's just so many different ways that they can, they've got so many bodies out there for the 76ers that they can put on him, press him, make things hard for him. Old man Mob, you say Trey needs to play like he did against the Knicks. Yeah, he really does need to, honestly. Like, I was hoping that he come out with that intensity for real. If you got to play like the bad guy, then hey, you got to do it. It suits him, honestly. So yeah, but I mean, game three is going to be at home, so having the crowd at your back, that should help some. Especially with him being as young as he is, he'll feed off of that energy, and the team will feed off of his energy. So hopefully, game three will be, a lot more favorable for the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, he's only got 16 points right now. He needs to have at least twice as many points as what he got right now. He needs about 30 something. Yep, so it's 107-89. The Hawks as a team have shot 47% field goal percentage, while from the 3 point line they are 36%. Meanwhile, the 76ers are 55% field goal percentage and 55% from downtown. Later tonight, we have the Clippers and the Jazz facing off. So I'm certainly rooting for the Jazz to win that one, hoping that Donovan Mitchell and company can go out there and look like the team that they've been throughout the regular season and put the Clippers out of this sooner rather than later. 76ers, for the most part, have played a pretty complete game, whereas in game one, they really only showed up in about the second half, honestly. The Hawks, they showed up for a little bit, that stretch towards, end of the, midway through the second and then the third, but towards the end of the third, 76ers, they just pulled away again. We've got 7 minutes, 34 seconds left to go in the fourth. Oh yeah, but I'm proud of the way that Joel Embiid has been playing. I mean, he's really, been not just scoring, but he's been a leader for this team. Those guys, they play hard because they know that he's going out there and giving it his all, even if he's not 100%. 76ers have it at the top. That three fell short. Hawks have it. If they're going to do something, now's the time to get on the run. Herder missed. Howard with the rebound. 76ers are bringing it up. A lot of moving around, passing the ball, driving it, and just like that, very smooth off the glass for two. 76ers 109, Hawks 89. 20-point game. For the Hawks, the good thing is you did win the game one. And so even though game two, something that you're going to probably want to forget, but at the end of the day, it's 1-1, and you're going to be at home for the next two games, which really bodes well for the Atlanta Hawks. 76ers have it at the top. Joel Embiid has it. Joel Embiid is just imposing his will on Capella down there. Going to the free throw line again. Embiid has shot 13 free throws prior to these upcoming free throws. The next highest on his team is 2 free throw attempts by Dwight Howard. So Embiid is definitely out there imposing his will. 76ers are currently winning this fourth quarter, outscoring the Hawks in the fourth quarter 19-5 at the moment. Yep, Embiid's out there hitting free throws. Yep, and Trae Young is doing what he does out there drawing fouls. At this point, all you can really do, is just try to go ahead and build some momentum for next game. Do like the 76ers did, go out there and let's get something going, something that you can point to and say, hey, this will work against them. Confidence is so important for teams. As it is currently a 20-point game. Old man Mob, you say the Hawks need someone to fire up the team, and you say Capella needs to body Ben or Joel. Yeah, I mean they need something. Honestly, they've got like no energy. I mean, like, gee, I mean they're really trying so hard to make it to where it seems like every stream I do turns into some type of a blowout or one-sided affair. So they seem to be more focused on that than going out there trying to compete. You said Joel Embiid played hell of a game. He definitely was the best player on the court today. No question about that. He definitely imposed his will. And so, and that's definitely a person who, has that ability to do that, clearly. But he wanted this game. And he wasn't waiting around either to the second half. He's like, no, I'm going to get involved from the start. And so that's just the mindset that he's had. And his team has definitely reflected that as well. I mean, Embiid, he has 34 points right now. But Harris, he also had 22. Curry had 19. Milton has 14. As for the Hawks, I mean, Hill he has no points, just over 2. Young doesn't even have 20 points yet. He's got 18. So they need more. They need more. Herter has 20, but outside of him, yeah, they need a lot more. And even he's cooled off some. Trae Young from way downtown. He hit that. That is one heck of a shot. I just wish that the game was a lot closer to where I could have jumped out of my seat for that one. But that was one heck of a three right there. That's what I want to see all game long, honestly. Hawks have it again. Give it to Trae Young again. Let him fire up another one. They missed. And now 76ers have the ball. They're up 110-94. And we have a little above 4 minutes left to go in this game. Joel Embiid continues to be a huge part of the offensive game plan. And he hits another one. 112-94, 76ers. Trae Young has it, kicks it out for 3. Hawks get that one, okay. 112-97. '76ers have it. Kicks it to Embiid again. Embiid tried to draw the foul, but he missed it. Hawks with the rebound. Trae Young brings it up. Ooh, what a nasty block. Embiid draws the foul again. Embiid is not taking his foot off the gas pedal. He definitely wanted this game. He understood how important it was to win this game. Yep, Joel Embiid, he definitely got his good amount of free throws in, but that just came from him being aggressive. He didn't do all that whining or anything like that for his free throws. No, he went out there and he earned those free throws. On the night, Embiid is 12 for 16 from free throws. Currently has 38 points. His career high is 39 points. I'm in the playoffs. And so if he gets another look, he may just be able to actually surpass that. As the 76ers are up 114 to 97. I know Doc Rivers has got to be proud of this team's performance in this game, how they responded after losing game one, or even in game one, how they came back. I mean, there's no such thing as a good loss, but that, coming back like that, how they were able to and almost being able to win that game, that shows the kind of heart this team has. Yep. So a little over 3 minutes to go left in the game. Oh, yeah. I mean, the 76ers as a team, they just came out and they were extremely aggressive from the start. Since the beginning tip off, they was just attack, attack, attack. Joel Embiid, aggressive, have his way, take advantage of matchups, be aggressive, get to the basket. The referees are going to call those fouls if you just be aggressive like that. So he had the right mindset for this game. And his team, they showed up as well, from Harris, Curry, they showed up. Danny Green had 8 assists. Um, so yeah, they're going to be putting Ben Simmons on the free throw line. Ben Simmons has had a relatively quiet night offensively, with just 4 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. Oh man, yep. Missing free throws. Yeah, but you got to like the intensity that Embiid is keeping throughout the end of this game. I mean, it doesn't matter what the score is, you just keep that intensity and keep doing what got you that lead. But as for Ben Simmons, I mean, yeah, they're definitely going to need more from him throughout the rest of this playoffs, even if not just this series. If they were to advance, certainly going to need a lot more from him. We have a 17-point game with about 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. On the night, Trey Young has 21 points, in which most he's pretty much gotten within the last like second half. He's 6 for 15 on field goals, 1 for 6 from downtown. but he does have 10 assists as well. The bench had 44 points for the Hawks so far. Yep, 76ers has pretty much kept control of this game. I mean, there was a moment in the third quarter where the Hawks made it a game, took the lead, but 76ers have pretty much, for the most part of the game, controlled the tempo. It should be an exciting game three, though. That is for sure. And Atlanta as well. I expect the Hawks to bounce back. 76ers have it, top of the key. Gives it to Embiid, as they've done pretty much all game long. And as he's done all game long, he hits it. That gives Embiid on the game currently 40 points, a new playoff high. And he gets the rebound. 76ers are up 116 to 97. Embiid again at the top of the key. Shoots for three, no good. Hawks with the rebound. Trae Young brings it up. Ooh, Hawks with the three. Okay. Okay. 116 to 100. 76ers bringing it up. Yeah, pretty much this entire game has just belonged to Joel Embiid. I mean, 40 points, 13 rebounds, a block shot. He's definitely been putting in work. I mean, you can see it when you look at him. I mean, he has that intensity, that look, that he's out there to take care of business, and he's taking no prisoners. And if you're Atlanta, you definitely just want to get ready for the next game. And Trae Young has 21 points on the night. Gallinari also has 21 as well. 76ers are in the bonus. Yep, that's a career high there for Embiid. 40 points. Carmichael, you asked if I'm streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to do my best to stream tomorrow as well. And so I'll do like today and go ahead and set that in advance so you guys will know. But yeah, I do plan on streaming tomorrow's game as well. And that'll be the Suns and the Nuggets. So I'm certainly looking forward to streaming that game. Get to take a good look at Chris Paul again and Devin Booker and company. 76ers currently hold an 18-point game with about a minute left to go. I'm sorry, 18-point lead, 118 to 100. Yeah, I mean, Atlanta just got to forget it. I mean, the series is going to be 1-1, but you did win one on the road. And you know what? In the playoffs, that's pretty darn good right there to be able to win one on the road. You'd like to be up 2-0, but I mean, sometimes it doesn't go your way. 76ers are one heck of a team. So get ready to be at home. Let's let the crowd, give you an advantage in game three. As for the 76ers, you came out, took care of business. You knew what you needed to do. You kept that same intensity that you had from game one, brought it over to game two. Joel Embiid certainly went out there and set the tone. He was having his way, getting fouls, just being aggressive. What do I think about the Dallas Cowboys? I think that the Cowboys, they obviously value offense a lot. I mean, Dak Prescott coming back off of his injury, I hope he's 100%. They need Ezekiel Elliott to, be able to be more productive. But at this point, he seems more like a power back than the back that he used to be. But I like what the Cowboys offense have. Now, defensively, they're still young. I expect them to obviously be better. And I can see the Cowboys, contending within the last 2, 3 weeks of the season to win the division, but that's definitely something that they'll have to certainly. It'll depend on that defense. I don't know how that defense is going to look now this upcoming season, but certainly if their defense can be just an average defense, just be average, then that will bode extremely well for the Cowboys because that division is up for grabs. So, and they have like the best offense in that division. So, I will say that about the Cowboys. So, they'll be fun to watch, though. I mean, it doesn't help that you open the season up with Tampa Bay, in terms of trying to get off to a fast start. But outside of that, you got to like the roster that the Cowboys have. They have a lot of talent. So I'm excited about their offense, honestly. Now that Dak's been paid, he can worry about actually going out there and producing. So that's what I think about the Cowboys. And this game has come to the conclusion 118 to 102. So the Philadelphia 76ers have won by 16 points. And so the Hawks will get ready for game three to be in Atlanta, different court now, have the crowd, for them, helping them out. And so we'll see, what game three presents. Should be a much better win than what we saw in game two. But certainly excited to see as the 76ers are certainly bringing a certain amount of intensity for sure. So but with that being said, I appreciate everybody joining me, for the chat, in the stream, and those of you that did, communicate in the chat. That means a lot. I appreciate you guys, for sure. Carmichael, you say who was my favorite draft pick outside of the first round? So outside of the first round, if we're talking draft picks, let's see. I actually, some of my favorite players in this year's draft, those guys that actually went undrafted, like Dalen Moses, he didn't get drafted, but those are some of my favorite guys there. But in terms of someone that actually, got drafted outside the first round, I'd have to go with, um, I honestly would have to go with Kellen Mond, his situation down there in Minnesota. That is going to be a bright future for him whenever they turn that team over to him. So I like the whole Kellen Mond's going to Minnesota. Old Man Mob, thanks again for joining and looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow on the stream. You have a great night. Yep. So with the conclusion of this game, I will go ahead and be shutting down for tonight. But again, thanks everybody for joining me on the stream. It's been great. You guys definitely make this a great experience. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm looking forward to streaming again tomorrow. So definitely you will see when that gets posted. And so, but yeah, you guys have a great night. Appreciate you. And see you again next time.